a presentation of CBC Sports.
Breaking the speed limit. Even Donovan Bailey can't catch Bruni Surin in the fastest 100 on Canadian soil. Fast friends share the moment. 9.89 and a national title. Surin, Bailey, and O'Brien Gibbons. 1, 2, 3. Coming right at you. Filomena Menza in a class by herself in the 100 meters. Now she'll try to make it a double in the 200. And the big boys get down to work. Jason Tunks tosses aside the shot for a discus go-round. It's day 4. The Nationals wrap up. Montreal ready and waiting for all comers. This is the 4th and final day of competition at the 1998 Canadian Track and Field Championships and Commonwealth Games trials. Good afternoon and welcome to our coverage. Well, what will they do for an encore? They're still buzzing here at the track after day 3 produced the fastest race in Canadian history. Local favorite Bruni Surin streaking to first place in 9.89 seconds to win the men's 100 meters, just 5 100ths off the world record held by Donovan Bailey, who came second in that race in 9.93. It was a tremendous moment, and we expect more here today, the 4th and final day. An exciting conclusion as Canada picks its team for the Commonwealth Games in Malaysia. For more on that, let's go to the booth and welcome former national sprint coach Alec Gardner, currently the general manager of the National Training Center in Winnipeg, and his partner Don Whitman.
Thank you, Mark. Hi, everybody. Alec, you must be extremely pleased to see that Canadian women's sprinting, which has been in the doldrums for about the last 5 years, is making a comeback and leading the charge. Filomena Menza.
Wasn't that a race on day 3? Menza's got the complete package, and I'm looking forward to seeing her run that 200 meters today.
An 11:08 clocking in the 100, trying for the sprint double today in the 2. What do you look for as far as the time goes?
Well, what 11:08 means that she can start fast, she can hold her speed, and I would think that she's capable of running around that 23-second mark, if not under. The wind's in the right direction. It's a perfect day for the 200.
Well, she may be in position to challenge Marita Payne's Canadian record in the 200. Mark?
Also on the crew here today, Charmaine Crooks, a 5-time Olympian and winner of silver in Los Angeles 1984. Charmaine, can you let us know what kind of physical and mental preparation it takes to win at this level?
Well, I think for most of the seasoned veterans here today, they're just here to officially make the team and get some of the pressure off their back so that way they can work on the final details going into Kuala Lumpur.
Now, you announced your retirement from the 800 meters this year. How about handicapping the next generation we'll see here today?
Well, I think the next generation, there's already some rivalry going on between Deanne Cummings of BC and Vicky Lynch Pounds. So I think we'll see a very good race as both of these women are qualified at the B standard for the games.
The women's 800, just one of the features we'll have on the show today. Here's our menu. The men's and women's 400 hurdles, of course, the men's and women's 800, and then the sprints 4 through 200 meters. We'll also revisit that stirring moment yesterday, the men's 100-meter final. We'll have full reports on the multi-events and a report on Edmonton's bid for the 2001 World Championships to be decided in December. The conditions in Montreal, gorgeous. It's hot, 27 degrees, and the winds are gusting down the home straight, sometimes at illegal times. We're set for the men's 400-meter hurdles, and we're expecting a 4-way battle for first. Let's go up to the booth to Don and Alec.
Well, Mark, you talked about those winds, and they could indeed be a factor. The athletes will have some difficulties running into those headwinds going down the back straight. Lane 3, Laurier Primo, the 97 champion. Lane 4, Rova Rabamananjara. Lane 5, Monty Raymond, who was the champion in 94 and 96. And in lane 6, Alexandre Marchand. He has a clocking this year of 49.92. These 4 are expected to battle for the gold, silver, and bronze.
Yes, they are, Don. And this whole race is going to set up by getting to the first hurdle in a predetermined number of steps. If one of these athletes rethinks their tactics, that's where the trouble can start. All of them have a lot of experience, and this race is going to occur in lanes 3 through 6.
10 flights of hurdles, 36 inches high. It is Wilkes, Cesarato, Primo, Rabamananjara, Raymond, Marchand, Brown, and Sampson in lanes 1 through 8.
Only the winner here is guaranteed a spot at the Commonwealth Games.
Earlier, you could see the intensity etched on the faces of these 8 runners, knowing what is at stake. The winner with an opportunity to represent Canada at the Commonwealth Games in September in Malaysia. Monty Raymond got a very good start, running in lane 5. Now on the inside, it is Primo trying to make things up on him. Ravamananjara is running well down the back straight. But it is Monty Raymond who is running well. He has made up the stagger on Alexander Marchand. Ravamananjara trying to stay with him. Monty Raymond is leading the way into the top of the turn. As a matter of fact, he has now gone past Marchand to his right. Did he take it out too quickly? Because here comes Laurier Primo on the inside with a charge. Laurier Primo coming through the bend with 2 hurdles remaining, but Monty Raymond is hanging on. Marchand trying to come back at him up to the final hurdle, and Raymond stumbled. Marchand is coming on, and Marchand is the winner, and a time of 51.24. Monty Raymond, who went out so quickly, ran into some difficulties coming through the turn. He stumbled when he hit the final hurdle, and coming through with a great stretch drive was Alexandre Marchand.
Marchand dug so deep there, Don. He was out of the race virtually on down the backstretch, and you can see the big, strong Monty Raymond getting over the hurdles here first. Laurier Primo challenging him on the inside, and here comes Marchand. I think that what happens here is that Marchand, you see, is going to pull here on Raymond, and maybe Raymond's distracted, and here he's going to bang into a hurdle a little bit. He stumbles, and Marchand goes right by him. What a brilliant comeback by Alexandre Marchand. Here's Raymond, powerful, took all of the advantage of the back straight, clips the hurdle a bit, throws him sideways, and there's nothing worse than having no rhythm coming into the last part of this run, and he knows it. He had that look on his face like, boy, I think that one's got me.
Well, a tremendous effort over the final 100 meters by Alexander Marchand. A time of 51.26 for the winner, Raymond 51.50 for second, and Primo finished in 3rd place. And we'll be back with more from the Canadian Championships and Commonwealth Games trials after this.
Welcome back to the Canadian Track and Field Championships in Montreal. Day 4 of competition, the last chance to make the Canadian team heading to the Commonwealth Games in Malaysia. Well, it was quite an event on day 3 of the competitions here in Montreal, the fastest race ever run on Canadian soil. Bruni Cern of Montreal streaking to victory in 9.89 seconds to win with his best race ever, ahead of the Olympic champion and world record holder Donovan Bailey. We could hardly resist, so here it is, an encore presentation of the 100.
10:33, the qualifying time for Robert Esme, who is running in lane 1. A certain amount of controversy surrounding him and the fact he was not included on the relay team for the Goodwill Games. Michael Nicolini with a 10:34 qualifying time is running in lane 2. In lane 3 is Glenroy Gilbert. He's attempting to talk Bruni Cern in joining him on the bobsled team in the year 2002 in the Salt Lake City Olympics. He participated in the bobsled in '94. O'Brien Gibbons, who had a 10:26 time in winning his heat, is running in lane 4. He's competitor number 8. Bruni Cern, the hometown favorite, the best time in the heats with a clocking of 10.08, and he has run 10:07 this year. He's in 5. Donovan Bailey with a 10:18 time is running in lane 6. Of course, he's the world record holder, 9:84 in winning the Olympic Games in Atlanta in 1996. Brad McQuaid, who has resurrected his career from Calgary in lane 7, a time of 10:35 in the heats. He has a seasonal best of 10:10. And completing the field is Trevino Betty. he had a qualifying time of 10.38. So, Alec, there is a tremendous amount of talent, a tremendous amount of speed in this men's 100-meter final.
This is going to be a phenomenal race. All of the eyes are on Bailey and Curran to see what they can do. Last time they competed together on this track, they ripped it up. Both times under 10 seconds.
Well, in the 1995 championships, this proved to be a springboard, a gold and silver medal here to a gold and silver medal at the World Championships in Gothenburg, Sweden. So it is Bailey, the Olympic champion, the world record holder, running in 6th, and Bruni Curran running in lane 5. Robert Esme in 1, Nicolini in 2, Gilbert in 3, Gibbons in 4, McQuaig in 7, and Betty in lane 8.
Set.
They get away cleanly the first time. A great start for Bruni Curran. Now here comes Bailey. Can Bailey pick him up? They race to the finish line. It is Curran. Curran holds off the challenge. Bruni Curran is the winner. 9.88 is the unofficial time. Bruni Curran with a remarkable run and an unofficial clocking of 9.88, just fractionally off Donovan Bailey's world record. What a run by Bruni Curran. Donovan Bailey couldn't track him down over those final 50 meters.
I'm stunned, Don. That's a brilliant race. If that time holds up at 9.88, if the wind is right, we've just seen some history here, some serious history. Curran is so strong. Curran clearing the blocks first, as he usually does. When I saw him in practice and he's looked relaxed and confident, here he goes. He's just ripping through the middle of this track. Here comes Bailey with a signature on the outside. Curran is holding him off. Bailey's pushing it perhaps a bit too hard, but there he is. Bruni Curran, Canadian champion. What a run.
And the wind is legal. It was 1:41. A clocking of 9.89. Bailey 9.93.
There he is, the toast of the town, Bruni Curran. He'll join us in just a minute, but right now, let's go to the women's 800 meters. Back to Don and Alec.
And there are 9 runners in this women's 800-meter final, and the favorites are Vicky Lynch-Pounds running in lane 3 and Deanne Cummins running in lane 9. Now, there was no lead up to this women's final. Only 9 competitors, so there were no heats. They went straight to a final. And Alec, might this be something of a disadvantage?
I think it is. They haven't had a chance to test the track. They haven't had a chance to get the nerves out. This is a one-shot deal. Both Lynch, Pounds, and Cummins have the standard for Kuala Lumpur. They just got to hope that they're there in first or second place.
Lynch-Pounds has run 2:02 this year. Of course, the Canadian record, 1:58.52 by Charmaine Crook. She remains the only Canadian 800-meter runner to go under 2 minutes. Deanne Cummins grew up in South Africa, moved to Canada in 1994. She actually began her track and field career as a long jumper. She does have landed immigrant status and has applied for Canadian citizenship and would love to represent the country in the Commonwealth Games in Kuala Lumpur. Through the first bend, these 9 women will run in their lanes, and when they hit the checkpoint on the back straight, they can then maneuver for position. On the inside, Lynch-Pounds leading the way. 1:82 on the outside is Deanne Cummins, but it is Lynch-Pounds leading into the top of the turn. And this has been her strategy to try and front run this race. Moving up is Jean Fletcher, the 1996 champion. She is running in second place. And here comes Deanne Cummins on the outside to challenge for third. Well, Charmaine, this was your specialty. What are your thoughts about what you're seeing so far?
Well, I think as we're coming through the first 100 meters, we're looking at about a low 61 seconds, which is a very comfortable pace, particularly in this type of wind. Deanne Cummins right now in a very good position. She has a good kick. She doesn't have a lot of experience competing at the national level. She's only started running the 800 meters this year, but she is very, very fast, a former long jumper, and she has a lot of speed. The question is, can she stay relaxed and stay in control and in shot and shooting distance right there? She's looking very comfortable right now and extremely relaxed.
Well, Deanne Cummins has a strong finishing kick, and Jean Fletcher, perhaps aware of that big kick by the transplanted South African, has moved into the lead. Lynch Pounds is trying to come back.
Well, Jean Fletcher, she's also a speed runner. She has a great 400-meter time as well. And let's see what happens over this last 100 meters. It's all a matter of who wants it first. Two women with both have Commonwealth first. And let's see what happens over this last 50 meters.
Fletcher trying to hold off Deanne Cummins. It's going to be close as they race to the finish line. Lynch Pounds appears to be out of it. Here comes Cummins with that surge. She's caught Fletcher, and it is going to be Cummins, Fletcher, and Lynch Pounds. A time of 2:05.3. So a strong finishing effort by Deanne Cummins. And this will be just outside her personal best, but in the top of the turn, she made her move from third place to catch the leader, Jean Fletcher.
Vicky led the whole race, and this is tough on her. It was the right tactic early in the race, but she's left the tank kind of dry here. You can see Cummins here. She's very, very patient. She knows what she's got over the last 100 meters. She's just lining up on Fletcher's shoulder, and here she comes now. She's going to bear down a bit as she passes her here on the final straight. She looks almost fragile here, but you can see, as Charmaine commented earlier, she's got some speed. Beautiful relaxation, shoulders square on. She's not using any extra energy. You can watch both Fletcher and Pounds struggling a bit, and there's Cummins through the line. She's got to be very happy with this.
A time of 2:05.44 for Deanne Cummins. Fletcher is second, Vicky Lynch Pounds third, and Deanne Cummins is with Charmaine.
Deanne, you look totally ecstatic. Tell me what you're feeling after this wonderful race.
Charmaine, first of all, it's good to see you, and absolutely fantastic race. It's always good winning, but I think the most important thing is that everybody here is having fun, and if it wasn't for the other girls, I probably wouldn't be feeling so good.
Well, you were really in major contention, particularly over the last 200 meters, and you certainly used your speed. Tell me how that was a factor in the race for you.
Well, at a national championships, placing is always the best thing that counts, I guess, and what you want to do is win, so you save all your energy. It's the last 100, and I guess I had it, so it was good.
Well, congratulations, and we'll see you at the Commonwealth Games.
Thank you, Charmaine. Thank you very much.
All right, Charmaine, here's the Canadian sprint champion, Bruni Cern. We managed to pull him away from the autograph hunters here in Montreal for just a minute, still savoring that wonderful 9.89 in the 100 on day 3. Bruni, the pundits have been saying that if you could put a finish together the way you start, you'd have a race like this, and you finally did it.
Yeah, I mean, that's a long time I've been waiting for a moment like that, you know, because I knew that I had to start the acceleration. My only problem was always run tight at the end. But I knew that if I could maintain my speed and just stay relaxed, I could have run this time. But finally, yes, I showed that. So it's a good feeling, you know.
This time Donovan couldn't reel you in.
Well, that was a tough competition. You know, I know that every time I race against Donovan, I know that it's going to be a tough race, and that was a good motivation also for me to run fast, because at around 70 meters, I felt Donovan on because he was on my right, and at that time I just said to myself, just stay relaxed and go through to the line.
For sure. The amazing thing, too, is that you missed 4 weeks of July. You had to cancel it because you were suffering from a virus.
Yeah, unfortunately, in the beginning of the season, I ran very good. I ran 10:08, and after that, I catch a virus in Europe, so I had to stay away from training. And unfortunately, at the Goodwill Games, it didn't go like we planned. I mean, I ran 10:30, but fortunately, I was okay after that, and we did some good training, and it paid off.
Bruni, let me ask you this. After the big win on day 3, will you reconsider about going to Malaysia to compete in the Commonwealth Games?
Well, actually, at the beginning, we were saying that, okay, we're not going and everything. But we're talking to the coach, and I talked to Donovan about this issue. And we were like, we still leave a little door open, because first of all, it's going to be late. And I mean, next year we have I have a World Indoor Championship, World Outdoor Championship, and then Olympics. So I'm not sure at 100% yet.
We know your family comes first. We'd love to see you, and we await your decision.
All right, thank you very much.
Congratulations, Bruni Cern, the Canadian champion in the fastest race ever on Canadian soil. Michael Smith wasn't in the decathlon, but the heir apparent was, and his name is Mike Nolan. Michael Smith of Kenora. He's dominated the decathlon in Canada for a decade, the 2-time Commonwealth Games champion. But at the National Championships, Smith was here fine-tuning a few events.
Definitely there's an evolution in any decathlete's career, and I've sort of moved in the direction of the throws. Growing up, I was always a sprinter and a long jumper, and that was my real strengths coming up through the ranks. But I am getting older, slowing down a little bit, and you really have to play on what God has given you, and certainly some of my talents lie in the throwing events right now.
Smith's heir apparent is 24-year-old Mike Nolan from the Border City Track Club in Windsor. He's talented and he's confident.
I've made the standard. Now it's a provisional win here at Nationals, which minus Mike shouldn't be too much of a bother.
Last year, Nolan topped the 8,000-point mark at Gotsa, so the potential is there. A long jump here in Montreal of 7 meters 06 put Nolan into the lead after 2 events. And he increased his advantage in the shot put, tossing the shot 13 meters 32 before the rains turned heavy to interrupt day 1 of competition. And that moved the high jump indoors, but that didn't hamper Nolan in the least. The bar set at 1 meter 91, and he's up and over to keep himself in the lead. But Dave Stewart from the Breakaway Athletics Club was hanging tough. He clears 2 meters even to bite into Nolan's lead. As day 1 ended, fortunes looked bright for the leaders. But in the opening event of day 2, the hurdles, disaster struck. Down went Nolan, and he was unable to finish. And that meant a score of 0 points and virtual elimination. Yet Nolan persevered, tossing the discus 45 meters 65, second best among all competitors. In the pole vault, he clears 4 meters 20 to collect 673 points as he pulled himself up in the standings. The javelin yielded another 672 points, thanks to this throw, 55 meters 60. And the end of Nolan's ordeal was in sight. For Toronto Stewart, not a strong javelin performance, but enough to assure his lead. Mike Nolan finishes with a flourish, winning the 1500 with a courageous comeback.
Oh, it means so much. Like, not only to be on the team with Mike, but to also get on, like, it would be my first major championship team. And for me, it's a pretty formidable goal that I've shot for like all season long, and after the hurdles I thought I saw it crumble in front of me, but I don't know if I pulled it together enough or not, but we'll see.
Dave Stewart wins the Canadian Championship but does not qualify for the Commonwealth Games. Mike Nolan is 6th but may earn a trip because of previous results. He does have B standard but awaits a committee's final decision. Coming up, LaDonna Antoine in the killer loop, the women's 400 meters, when we come back to Montreal. The 400 meters is often referred to as the most punishing sprint in track and field, and with their muscles screaming, the women ran the 400-meter final on day 3 in Montreal.
The 2 favorites in this women's 400-meter final are in lanes 4 and 5. Both have achieved the Commonwealth Games standard. Foy Williams, the 1996 Canadian champion, has a clocking this year of 51.99, and LaDonna Antoine, the 97 champion, has a best time of 51.79 this year, and the standard for the Commonwealth Games is 52 seconds flat.
They've got the 4 strongest runners right in the middle lanes where they should be. They can see each other. Williams is inside Antoine and can draw off her speed, and Jones as well can draw off Williams. So we're looking for a strong race here. The breeze is going the right way. It's going to bring them on home.
Foy Williams, the 96 Canadian champion, to her right. LaDonna Antoine, the 97 champion. She wears competitor's bib number 1, and she hopes that will be the case at the finish line in this women's 400-meter final.
quiet moment for LaDonna. Her focus is different, eyes closed, maybe rehearsing the first part of her race, taking all those butterflies out of her head.
There is always the danger, and every 400-meter runner has to be aware of it, that they don't take it out too quickly, that they run within themselves, because we have seen in the past many runners who go out too quickly, tying up as they come down the home stretch.
That's the scourge of the 400 meters. You've only got so much fuel in that tank when you're running at this speed, and the nitro burns out sometimes a little bit too early for these athletes.
The Canadian record established in 1988 by Jillian Richardson, a mark that has stood for a decade, a 49.91 clocking. The world record set in 1985 by Marita Koch. It is Salifa, Lochhead, Jones, Williams, Antoine, Gervais, Healy, and Trudeau in lanes 1 through 8. And away very quickly is LaDonna Antoine, running in lane number 5. Foy Williams on the inside moving with her, and already they have made up the stagger on the 2 outside runners. It is Antoine being pushed down the back straight by Williams. Candace Jones on the inside trying to make up some ground. But it is LaDonna Antoine in control of the race as they go into the top of the turn. 200 meters remaining. On the inside it is Candace Jones and Foy Williams trying to mount a challenge. LaDonna Antoine, will she have enough in reserve over the final 100 meters to hang on to this lane? And it appears as though she has enough in reserve. But here comes Foy Williams making up some of that deficit. On the inside, it is Salifa moving strongly. Salifa is going to get there for third, but is Antoine the winner? And her time